Evan, the sheriff, Bredesen
spinning
spinning
dials.
dials. And
gentlemen,
there
there
is
is nothing else in this world to talk
except
about this evening
IHSA football, and that is all we are going to talk about this evening. There's
football.
nothing else going on
we
in the
are going
sports
to
world
talk
today,
about this evening.
and we're
That's
glad
right. There's
you can
nothing
join us
else
for the
going
next
on in
2
the sports
hours.
world today,
Guys,
and we're
this
glad
edition
you can join us
and
for the
every
next 2
edition
hours.
of Pigskin
Guys,
Preview here on
this edition
1340
and every
WJOL,
edition of
brought to us
Pigskin
by
Preview here on
State Farm agents
1340
Kevin Malloy, New
WJOL.
Lennox,
Brought
and
to
John
us
Wright,
by
and
State
Joliet,
Farm
like a
agents
good
Kevin
neighbor,
Malloy,
Joe.
New
State Farm is there.
Wright and
Quickly,
Joliet,
our
like a good neighbor,
WJOL
Joe.
game
State
of the
Farm
week,
is there.
Friday
Quickly,
night
our
lights, a
WJOL game of the week,
5:15
Friday Night
early
Lights,
bird
a
special,
5:15
if you
early
will,
bird special.
followed by a 6 p.m.
If you
kickoff,
will,
Lockport
followed
at Bolingbrook, a
by a
dandy
6
in the
p.m.
Southwest
kickoff,
Suburban Blue
Lockport
Conference
at
tomorrow night.
Bolingbrook, a
In the
dandy
meantime, guys, we're going to go
in the Southwest
immediately
Suburban
out to
Blue
the phone
Conference
lines.
tomorrow
Excited, happy
night.
we're able to
In the
connect with Bill
meantime,
Leck from
guys, we're
Joliet
going to go
West. And
immediately
Bill,
able to
first of
connect with
all,
Bill Leck from Joliet West. And
appreciate
Bill,
you taking a few minutes to
appreciate you
join us.
taking a
And
few
well,
minutes to
let's
join
face
us.
it, you're
And
probably
well,
just
let's
sitting
face
in
it, you're
traffic
probably just
anyway.
sitting in traffic anyway.
Actually, I'm actually moving, so it's not too bad. But yeah,
Attaboy.
I'm somewhere in Plainfield, and they're building a lot of new houses out here. That's all I know.
Okay. Well, again, appreciate you taking time.
Appreciate you taking time.
You finally get that first one under your belt last week.
Finally get that first one under your belt last week against Romeoville.
Congrats, and I got to imagine that.
Congrats, and I got to imagine
completely changes
that
the attitude from maybe a couple weeks ago to now.
Our morale has gone. It's a complete 180. Our kids are. They obviously, when you win, everybody's happy and everyone loves a winner. But our attitudes have changed. Our will to prepare, our willingness to come to practice, everything has just been. I mean, this week's been fantastic.
Bill, first of all, congratulations on the first win.
The year itself,
especially
for you guys, the coaching
especially
staff,
for you guys, the coaching staff, and the kids with the COVID stuff, had to be.
I'm just going to let you know. I know the loss at Plainfield Central, when you played Plainfield Central, you did leave your team. Left an impression on Coach Keene from Plainfield Central.
I know the loss at Plainfield. You did leave your team. Left an impression. You played them very hard because that was Edgy and I were wondering after a 2-week layoff and all the stuff going on with the COVID and stuff like that, how you guys would come out. But it sounds like
you guys
came out
pretty tough
against a very good team, a 5-1 team right now, and then getting the win last week.
Our defense has really kind of been. They've just been carrying us the 4 games we have played. They're an outstanding unit, and we only had 2 days to prepare with our entire group for that Plainfield Central game, and on top of it, it was our first game that we were using a backup quarterback, so we only had 2 days to get Evan ready. So I was proud of the way our kids played. We couldn't find the end zone, but we certainly had opportunities, and I think when the opportunities presented itself last week against Romeoville, I think we were able to capitalize. So I was proud of the way our kids played against Plainfield Central and obviously the way they played against Romeoville as well.
Got to imagine the goal, obviously, is to finish with wins in the last 3 and get to that 4-5 mark. As we've been talking about all year, Bill, from a playoff perspective, I mean, this could very well be the year that some 4-5s get in. Is that kind of the carrot right now with the kids, trying to keep them on board?
Well, if you remember, in 19, we were that 4-5 team.
That's right.
Yeah. And our focus with our kids has been, if we can win our last 4, we're really 4-3 because they took 2 away from us, so we can't control those. So that's been our focus, is just trying to finish 4-3. But you want to win 4, you got to win 2 first, and that's where we're at this week. So, yeah, that's been our focus.
I know you're taking on a Plainfield East team again. The record is 2-4, but Joe, you had a chance to see Plainfield East last weekend.
Yes.
And that's a team to keep an eye out for. A lot of young talent. What can your fans expect to see out of the Bengals tomorrow?
It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. They've got some talented individuals that we've got to make sure we know where they're at and we get hands on them. Otherwise, they can score quick. So. Historically, the 3 years we've played Plainfield East, it's been track meets. So, hopefully we can keep up with them and at the end of the night just have at least one more than they got.
Bill, you talked about your defense. Kind of highlight some of the kids that have been doing a good job so far.
Well, the heart of our defense, as you know, is Brian McCoy.
Right.
He's done a great job for us at linebacker. But I tell you what, as a unit, our D line has been outstanding. I mean, we're rotating 4 or 5 kids on that D line, and they're not real big, but they're quick and they're scrappy and they're feisty, and they're playing in the backfield. So and then behind it, with McCoy and then Wiskowski, the Wizard, they're able to just fill their gaps and flow from side to side. But then we got some talent in our secondary too, with Jerry Richards and Rob Satterwhite, and so as a whole, our defense is a solid unit. So those are our leaders.
And Bill, offensively, maybe some things that we need to keep an eye out from here on out the rest of the season.
Well, Skylar Crudup had his best game as a varsity player last week. He had close to 100 yards receiving. He had 2 touchdowns. He made a touchdown catch in the back corner of the end zone that was just ridiculous. Where he was able to get 1 foot down. We got a picture of it. Derek Kinder, the principal over at Romeoville, sent it to me. Skylar's got 1 foot down in the end zone, and he's doing a full split with the other foot straight up in the air, and he comes down in the corner of the end zone and just makes a tremendous catch. Dante Morrow ran the ball well last week. He found the end zone, and he's done nothing but improve, and he's just a junior. So we're looking for big things out of him. And Evan Gould, our quarterback, he's filled in for Carter the last couple of weeks, and he really settled in nicely last week. He had, a little early on, he had a little struggles, but we talked him through it, and we got some things worked out, and he was able to fix some problems by the end of the night. So he picked some things up. And you know what? Our kids up front are working hard. We lost a guard last week, so we had a back Kirk every day and was ready and really didn't skip a beat. So team out for last week.
I'm sorry, Bill.
You
just cut up just a little bit.
I'm on County Line Road right now.
Yeah, we know the cell zones in the area.
Yes,
Exactly where you're at.
Again,
not going to keep you long, but again, wanted to check in and just congratulations to get off the schneid. And again, we're rooting for you.
Yes.
Get a nice little run here, get some games done, and get some wins, and go get them, my friend.
Well, we'll take all the rooting we can get. So keep rooting for us, root for us extra hard tonight, and hopefully we bring home a W.
Yeah, good luck, Bill. Yes, good luck.
You guys take care. Thanks.
All right, Bill Leck joining us from Joliet West, and again, we appreciate him taking a few minutes out of his time. And Joe, as we talked about,
it has not been a good year at Joliet West.
No, it's just tough. I mean, it's with the COVID losses and trying to keep the kids interested in football when you're not going to play for 2 weeks.
Right.
That's got to be hard. But I'm glad they won last week. And Bill said that the kids are more energized now and stuff. And I'm still saying they're going to make the playoffs. I know Plainfield East is a solid young team. And I know they finished up with Plainfield South. The next weekend they play the rivalry game with JT Central. But I just don't know. I just feel like they're going to make it.
I just think with Plainfield Central, with the lead that they have in the conference right now, you never say never, but yeah, Central sure looks like right now, obviously the team to beat,
right,
to walk out of there with the automatic bid. And they're win away from qualifying for the class.
Well, they're 5-1 right now. Yes.
So they're 1 away if they're able to get one this week.
Again, Joliet West is on the road. They're playing at Plainfield East tomorrow night. And then, as we were talking about, Plainfield Central is on the road to Plainfield South, which again, South is one of those teams you can't take for granted.
No, and East either. I mean, this game tomorrow night is a huge one, and that's going to set up. Hopefully, they win. And then it's going to really set up that game in week 9.
So, Joe, you did double duties over the weekend. You saw 2 games, one on Friday, one on Saturday. Saturday, I know you were at Plainfield Central for homecoming against East. Fill us in on that one and give us a little overview on Friday.
Evan and I, of course, did the game at Plainfield Central. I was impressed. Their offensive line is huge, especially right side the guard and tackle. Aaron Larkins, they talk about that. He's their horse and stuff. He's a war horse. I mean, we didn't have the official statistics at the end of the game, but he had to rush the ball at least 30 times. Would you say, Evan? And if you never saw the movie War Horse, see it, because that's exactly what Aaron Larkins is.
He power.
Yeah, just run the power play, be behind that big offensive line. And the key of the game, they went to old-fashioned smash-mouth football, up 3-0. They got the ball back in the third quarter. They crossed the 50-yard line. They used the full house backfield, and they ran the ball right down basically Playfield's east throat to score the touchdown.
Get it done, and that's important.
I think Central's going to need in the postseason.
We'll definitely be able to hopefully get that running game and establish it. And again, we mentioned a great story this year, certainly for Plainfield Central as well at 5-1, looking to hopefully secure a state playoff bid with a win this week. And let's face it, I think they're in with 5 wins and the playoff points they have. But officially, we can't get into that until next week.
Your Friday game, sir.
Yeah, a great game. I mean, in the beginning, it looked like Lockport was going to run over Lincoln Way West. They had the ball right off the bat on the 1-yard line, the bad snap, and Lincoln Way West recovered. But Lockport came back and scored 2 touchdowns on them, 14-0. But again, West held together very well. Impressed with Mr. Timasek, the quarterback. He threw for 152 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Schultz is a horse. I mean, he runs the ball. I think the other running back is the Petro or whatever. I was impressed with him, too. They're both very good. And defensively, the front four is really good. Troy Mutz intercepted 2
Silver twins.
Oh, man. And you got Blackburn Forest, I think the young man's name is. As a unit, they're pretty good. They're good. But again, on the Lincoln Way West side, the Harris brothers impressed me immensely. Both hard-nosed kids. In the sophomore Crafton, he threw 2 interceptions. And actually, as the game got progressively going, I thought he had good reads, threw the ball pretty well. Eric Nowak, I thought, had a big game defensively. Both teams used a trick play. The one for Lockport worked. The one was just off the fingertips of the young man from Lincoln Way West. But again, it was just a solid game, and I think Lockport needed a game like that to get ready for these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you are going to get tested. And again, our WJOL game of the week is going to be Lockport at Bolingbrook. And again, just for everyone out there, that is a 6 p.m. kickoff. So you definitely want to plan accordingly. Again, we have a busy show. As soon as we get past this first break, we'll go right back out to the phone lines. We'll talk to Matt Harding from Manuka. For you JCA fans, don't go anywhere. 6:45, Brian Batkey, head coach of the Brother Rice Crusaders, will be on with us. We will learn more about this Brother Rice team you're going to visit. And again, folks, that is a 6 p.m. kickoff tomorrow for Brother Rice. So make sure you also plan accordingly. So again, Joe, that's another big game in the area for sure. Big test for Joliet Catholic going on.
So I've seen Brother Rice on. Well, they played the game of the week against Loyola and only lost by 3 points. And I watched a little bit on the huddle with the Mount Carmel game. Very impressed with Brother Rice. I should say Brian Batkey has a very nice team. Very nice.
So we will handle that in the first hour. The 7 o'clock hour, first segment, we're going to have open phones. So you definitely welcome your calls in. We'll break down games within the local area here. Then we will finish strong with John Ivor from Bolingbrook at 7:25, and then Steve Susi will join us. And I'm sure we'll complain and moan about
nobody will listen to us anyway.
Sports. So we will take care of that in the 7:45 segment. So again, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, again, we'll go out to the phone lines, going out to the reservation and talking to Matt Harding from Manuka. Joe, it looks like the Indians might have figured some things out here.
Yes, indeed.
And we will talk to Matt as soon as we return. You're listening to the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies. Your contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Chicagoland area attorneys. 4320 Winfield Road, Suite 200, Warrenville, Illinois, 60555.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Whew! For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Keeping your tax information safe keeps your business safe. That's why Greg Severson at Cordano, Severson & Associates goes above and beyond to keep your business tax information private. This includes keeping everything he does local to our community. There's no outsourcing services overseas like the big firms do, or storing sensitive documents in places where online hackers have easy access. And Greg Severson has taken multiple measures behind the scenes to protect his clients from tax identity fraud. Give yourself peace of mind for your business. Call Greg Severson at Cordano, Severson & Associates. Beyond keeping your business safe from tax hackers, Greg will set you up for the ever-changing business tax landscape to give you the best tax advantages. Call Cordano, Severson & Associates, a firm you can trust and your business can afford. Co-founder and proud member of the Will Buy Local Alliance. Do you have tax prep experience but are tired of making the commute downtown? Cordano Severson is hiring qualified tax professionals. Inquire today by calling 815-744-1900. That's 815-744-1900.
Money Talks is back. Here's a keyword that could be worth $1,000. $1,000. Take this keyword, log on to WJOL.com, and enter it for your chance to win. The keyword is...
Town is your keyword, town. Money Talks brought to you by Marcio Tile and Carpet, 910 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport. Quality floors for every lifestyle. Marcio Tile and Carpet.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. And Joe,
Yep.
I had a pretty good dinner tonight, compliments of you.
Yes.
What was that again?
The chub.
The what?
The chub.
We'll get into it later.
Oh, no.
We have a guest. We have a very important guest waiting. All right, we'll go out to the phone lines. Joining us, the head coach of your Minooka Indians. Glad to welcome him back. Yes, I can walk the streets of the greater Chinookawood area with my head held high. Matt Harding joins us. Hello, Coach.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you back on. And again, anytime you can beat an undefeated team in your conference is a good game. And congrats on getting one over Oswego East last week.
Yeah, thanks. We were just clicking on all three levels of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. We kind of put everything together.
Sounds like you've been tweaking some things. It seems like from week to week. Kind of fair.
Yeah, started out with, obviously, it's week 1, and going into week 2, we had a couple of injuries that kind of set us back, and then we get hit with some COVID issues, and it seems like we've always been missing somebody or somebody's been hurt. And finally, we're getting healthy, and everybody's back now, for this week. And last week, we kind of tweaked our offense the past 2 weeks to fit the pieces that we have, and I think we found a little bit of identity of who we're going to be.
Man, is that why
I mean, I saw in the paper where Malik Armstrong, had 110 yards and 2 touchdowns and a kickoff return for a touchdown. And is that the reason why he was switched to running back?
Yeah, well, Malik's all around, all over the place. I mean, he plays corner for us. He's a kick returner, punt returner. He plays wide receiver. We put him at running back. I mean, wherever you put him, he is a tremendous athlete, and he's a quick learner of what we do. We did have some injuries during week number 2 with our running back, and then COVID hit, and down went a quarterback. So now we're dealing with, only having one quarterback and no running back. So, we just had to finagle kind of our offense and figure why not give the ball to one of our best athletes, between him and Trevor Hudak and see what we can do.
And you mentioned the quarterback play, and I know Ethan Murphy's taken over, and it sure sounded like he settled in and had a nice game for you last Friday as well.
Yeah, he's done a great job, with our offense and the offensive packages that we have in there. So, it is going to be a battle down the road here. Obviously, with our next 3 opponents here, we're just going to do everything we can. We do have the ability now to spread the ball out, obviously, because we both have both quarterbacks back. But you're going to have to be able to defend both of them, and Trevor Hudak is obviously back and healthy, and that's an issue too, trying to defend not only Malik but Trevor out there too.
Yeah, Trevor just gives you that extra dimension, I think, on offense. He's, again, if people just rely too much and lean to Malik, he's a guy that if people don't pay attention, he's going to get you. And Matt, you've seen that over the last couple of seasons with him.
Yeah, Malik's been catching on fire. I think he's got 16 touchdowns in 6 games, which is an unbelievable stat, for us especially, So it's nice having Trevor back, and we do have some other threats that are younger that are coming around, and now Trevor, we snagged him, and he is playing on both sides of the ball. Now he's playing on defense, so it's also nice to have him on the defensive side.
Man, speaking about the defense, as Edgy said, beating an undefeated Oswego East team, a great defensive effort by you guys. Who are some of the guys besides the couple that you've mentioned? Who are a couple guys that have really stepped up since week 1?
Yeah, I think our defensive line is played phenomenal all year. If you look back at our games, we don't give up many yards, obviously, through the middle. So Louis Johnson and Will DeBold, obviously, playing 2 defensive tackles, and Luke Strange, our nose. Those guys do a great job with their leverage. They might not be 6'6", 270 pounds, but, 5'10", and 200 plus, they're doing a great job of plugging holes up front. And, Ivan Dahlberg, our Sam linebacker, has done a great job of calling our defense. And, we've been very fortunate of having a pretty good will linebacker year after year. And Isaiah Dupree's filling that spot pretty good.
And this was a young group going in, Matt. You knew that. I know we talked in the preseason about, the one area that you lost a lot of experience and some key leaders was that defense. Where are they at in your eyes, progress-wise, and what do you want to see out of them the next handful of weeks? I mean, besides obviously wins, but what's the next step for them?
Well, they're doing a great job. They've grown leaps and bounds, obviously, since week number 1.
Yep.
We only have 4 seniors on the defense, so everybody else is a sophomore or junior for that. We got a great junior or sophomore team that's obviously doing some good things that's going to be coming up as well. So, it's great going into practice. We don't have to reteach things anymore. We can kind of critique what we're doing and change possibly some responsibilities, that gives some offensive fits, and makes them have to adjust, obviously, during the middle of the game, which is hard to do, making you do something that you haven't practiced all week.
One of the viewers on the YouTube stream, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Ivan Dahlberg is awesome. Sure. Why not?
Why not?
He is a tank. He is a tank in the middle. He's a very smart kid that he knows where the ball's going, obviously, before the ball snapped based upon alignment of wide receivers or running backs or the offensive line or the formation. So he's an encyclopedia out there.
You're taking on an opponent that's coming off a 2 overtime loss. And, again, if you can take Oswego to 2 overtimes, you're an awfully good team. And Matt, what can your fans kind of expect out of Plainfield North tomorrow night?
Well, you're going to see some hard hitting. I'll tell you that. Anytime Minooka, Plainfield North, Minooka, Oswego, it's basically a car collision every time the ball snaps. It's going to be some smash mouth football there. It's going to come down to executing the game plan, and hopefully we don't have 4 field goals outside of 40 yards again like last year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As far as the remainder of the season, health-wise, where are you at? I mean, we talked a little bit about we're getting a quarterback back and some COVID issues, but otherwise, things looking okay?
Yeah, we're pretty healthy. Like I said, everybody's getting back, and our running back's going to be back here in a little bit, also from his injury. So everything's pointing up in the right direction at the right time, and we're just trying to be 1-0 at 9:30 at night.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. Does playoff talk even creep into anyone's conversation, or no?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's not even an issue. We're just worried about obviously Plainfield North and installing the game plan, and we're going to grind as coaches and players until the time is up, and then after that, we'll celebrate what we've done, and then we'll start moving on to the next group.
Yep. All right, my friend. I appreciate you taking time as always. Good luck tomorrow night, and go get one against Plainfield North.
Yeah, good luck, Matt.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
All right. Thanks. Matt Harding joining us from Minooka. Glad to have him aboard, Joe. And, definitely got to keep an eye on the Indians here over the next few weeks.
Huge win. Last week.
Could definitely wind up being that team that can wind up with a 5-4, maybe even a 6-3 record when it's all said and done.
Exactly.
Again, you look at what's remaining. I know they've got Plainfield North. I think, Joe, do you have that list?
Yes,
I think
they play Yorkville in week 8, and right now, and then West Aurora in week 9.
So, I mean,
winnable
3 games, but this one I think is going to be the toughest out of the next 3.
I totally agree.
So, but again, you can't overlook Yorkville either, because Yorkville's a team that they generally have got numbers, and they're kind of up and down, but again, there's some talent there for sure. So we appreciate Matt Harding joining us. Joe, we got a few minutes here before we have to break. Let's start going down some of the games in the area. You ready?
Yes, sir.
The Tone at Coal City, both 4-2, Joe.
Play again, both teams as you said, 4-2. I'm picking the Coalers here playing at home.
Okay. You like that home field advantage, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Wilmington, somehow, with injuries and everything else, they're still 6-0 and a number 1 ranked team in 3A. They're on the road at Lyle, on the turf.
Yeah, I know traditionally they haven't played well on the turf, but I'm going to go with the Wildcat here.
The Morris Redskins, Joe, 6-0. They are at home hosting Ottawa.
I know they won a shootout last week, I believe, at Caneland.
Yes.
I believe it was.
Yeah. Ashton Yard, what a name for a running back.
Yeah.
Huge game, 350-some yards. 3 or 4 touchdowns, had a big game for the Morris. The Morris team yet to be named.
Okay.
Another one that I believe, I don't think the Redskins, I don't know if they've officially changed that yet. We'll find out for sure, but
I'm taking Morris.
Again,
I don't care what they call them. I'll take Morris.
Speaking of schools with no official nickname, Lamont, Joe, at 6-0 on the road at Tinley Park.
Oh, I'm taking the Indian for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You're taking the Lamont team, soon to be renamed. Team? Yes, the Lamont football team.
I still can call it.
We talked to Joliet West head coach Bill. Why did Bill Leck? Yeah. I don't know why Evan had that happen earlier today.
It was all that chub you ate.
Yeah, that chub kind of chubbed me up for sure. Joliet West at 1-5. They're on the road at Plainfield East 2-4. Should be an interesting game, Joe.
I'm going to stick with West here. I really am. I know Plainfield East is a good young team. They showed me a little bit last Saturday. At
Still playing for the playoff lives there, Coach Joe.
They both are. Yes, I know. But I'm going to go with West here.
All right. Plainfield Central, again, everything's been coming up roses lately for the Wildcats. At 5-1, they are on the road at Plainfield South 3-3. And Joe, I don't care what kind of year it is, this will not be an easy game.
No. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Lot of running, lot of Mr. Larkin, and
But I'm gonna pick Plainfield Central here. Joe, someone's got to win this week. Romeoville on the road Saturday, I believe, at Joliet Central. With the problems Joliet Central has with numbers and things, both teams had COVID issues. I'm going to go with the Spartan here. Okay. And then finally, as I mentioned, we talked to Matt Harding, Manuka at 3-3 on the road at Plainfield North. Who are you liking that one, big fella? Boy, it's a coin flip for me. I'm going to go Plainfield North. Okay, fair enough. Had an interesting question brought my way, and I think I'm going to bring this up to the next few coaches we have. Brian Batkey is going to join us at about 6:45 from Brother Rice. Interesting thought from a coach. We were talking about the quote-unquote parity right now, especially in the bigger classes. And his thought is part of this is you have these larger programs, these traditional powers, the Loyolas, the Brother Rices, the Mount Carmels. Sure, we'll throw in the Glenbards, we'll throw in the Lincoln Way East, we'll throw in Maine West, Maine South, we'll throw in basically 8A, 7A down to some 6A and your better teams. We'll say your better traditional winning teams. Limited weight room work over the past, well, because of the spring season, we obviously just took that all out of the kids' hands and their work. Is that maybe part of the reason why we're seeing these programs that have relied so heavily on their weight training program and being in tip-top condition and ready for a 9 to 14 week season? Could this be maybe one of the factors to why maybe the quote-unquote powers aren't just quite the powers that they've been recently? Or am I just making up stuff and blowing smoke? Well, that definitely could be a reason. I'm still going to go with the spring season too, because of the fact you had seniors that you wanted to get them on tape, so you played them. So as of right now, quite a few of you have played 12 games. Yes, and it becomes a long season because once the spring season's done, then you would probably start lifting weights, but then that might only be for 3 weeks or so, and then it goes right into summer football. You're going to lift a little bit too, but you want to get things in. And I just think it's going to take a year for everything to kind of shake itself out between the COVID and maybe the lack of weightlifting as some of the coaches. And just getting back on a regular off-season conditioning training program. You know, getting your rest when you're able to get your rest, being able to shut things down. That all changed. Everyone's clock and agenda got completely out of whack. And I thought it was an interesting theory to talk about. Yeah, it was. But again, even with, I'm going to go back to the spring baseball season. You have 1 week of, we didn't have it again. No weightlifting for baseball players at all, and that's a big part. Where I coach at Joliet Catholic, and I'm sure a lot of other teams too. And you have a week of practice, and then you start playing right away. You know, it's not every day we have a radio celebrity roll through the studio. Yes, our WJOL Dancing with the Star expert, Jen Bredesen, was in the studio with us, and Evan, of course, just rushed her out, not wanting her to spend any time or maybe even sign an autograph.
She's coming back. She's coming back in.
Well, good. I'll get my autograph.
Because she got her eyes on some of that chub with au jus. And
what is that, Joe?
The chub. Very excited. She got very excited.
She should be. It's very good. As you can tell, I had my share. So
I'll be having my share here in a minute.
Joe, when we come back, we're gonna have you explain the name of that product and where that comes from.
I'm sure Coach Batkey will appreciate that.
I'm sure he will. Well, he's a South. He knows what good pizza's all about. Yeah, he does. There's no doubt. All right, we're gonna step aside and take a break. When we come back, gonna bring in Brian Batkey, the head coach of the Brother Rice Crusaders, who take on Joliet Catholic Academy. Hilltopper Nation, listen up. Time to tune in. Alert everyone, fire off the warning sirens. Your opposing coach will be here on the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only, not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
Aw, you people at Lively are wonderful.
With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping. 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift. I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Doug Boyd, General Sales Manager for 1340 WJOL. We want to thank you for listening and remind everyone to please support our local businesses, especially the businesses you hear on WJOL, because without these local advertising partners, there wouldn't be a WJOL for you to listen to. Thanks again for listening.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. I'm EDGYTIM, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan, the sheriff, Brennison, spinning the dials. And guys, hadn't talked to this guy and had him on the show for a few years, and I thought we'd go out to him since, well, you know, the local team, the Hilltoppers, Joe, they got a little bit of a game tomorrow night.
A little game, a little small game, yes.
So, again, going to bring in the head coach of the Brother Ice Crusaders, Brian Batkey. And Coach, I appreciate you taking time on your commute home. It kind of hit me after I lined you up for the show. This is your last season. Man, I mean, it just hit me. Is it like hit you at all, or are you just too busy?
You know, it hasn't hit yet. And, again, I've always talked about how, you know, it's all about the kids. And, you know, I've been very fortunate and blessed to be at Brother Ice, being my 10th year and, you know, 24 years of coaching and just get to my next phase of my life, you know, and the family. And, you know, I'm excited about that. But we've got some business to take care of. And, you know, we're real excited about this, you know, upcoming challenge that we're going to have on Friday night.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Joe, as I told you, I had this one circled in the preseason. When I saw that matchup, I'm like, okay, this is looking a little good come Week 7. And sure enough, here we are. Brian, your guys have been rolling, especially Jack Lausch. That's a name that obviously is very familiar to Joliet Catholic folk. I mean, I've had a chance to get to know him. Talk about a tremendous young man. Talk about him as a leader and even more so off the field and just his personality and what he brings to your team every week?
Yeah, Jack has all the intangibles. He's one of the hardest workers. He's a great leader. He's a great young man. He is the complete package, and but he's earned everything. And he comes from great stock. His mom and dad, and obviously his dad being a JCA alum, he's very proud of that. We've had a lot of talks. Me and my background. Going to school in Joliet, playing at St. Francis, playing for Gordy.
Yep.
So he comes from great stock, and he's having a great season. He deserves everything he's getting. He's making his teammates better. He's making our team better. And, there's certain intangibles that you just can't teach. And he's wired a certain way. And leadership is definitely one of his strengths, for sure.
Brian, you mentioned Jack's father, John, or Joliet Catholic graduate. How ironic is it, or a twist, that both quarterbacks in this game...
I'm sorry, you were breaking up there. I'm sorry, I missed you there.
Okay, kind of a twist to this game. You mentioned Jack's father, John. And how ironic is it that both quarterbacks, their fathers played on the same state championship team at Joliet Catholic?
Right. No, I know Aiden Voss and his dad, and it is kind of ironic. And I know they have a great relationship, the dads, and obviously the kids are growing up together. So yeah, it is. And Aiden's a heck of a football player, and it's just ironic, and it's going to be exciting for everybody. There'll be some extra juice in this one.
Yeah. Most definitely,
no doubt about it. Offensively, Brian, you've gotten such production. We know about Jack. Got to imagine Aaron Vaughn Jr. still able to generate some offense and help you out on that end, and give us some other names that people need to know. I know you've got, I think someone on my board called him the Jolly Orange Giant at tight end.
Yes, we definitely have some weapons. As you guys all know, it always starts up front, and we got 5 senior offensive linemen, and that definitely helps. And you can't do anything without those guys. And our skill guys, obviously having Aaron is a big help. Tommy Bennett has been a great addition as well. In that backfield to complement each other. I call them the dynamic duo, those two. And then obviously Henry is a big threat.
Yep.
He's done a great job blocking. He's obviously down the field. He's a big target. And, what we've really been happy with is our wide receiver play. And I think a lot has to do with a lot of competition. We got 5-6 guys that are all wanting to get on the field, and they're all deserving it. And, Jack does a great job of spreading the ball out. If you're open, he's going to throw it to you. And, he's developed a great rapport with those guys. And, it's nice to have some, senior leadership and have the offensive line to protect them, and be able to be well balanced. I think, that's something that
Yep.
I've always stressed, that, to have a really good balance, offense, running and passing is very difficult to defend, and especially if you have a guy like Jack, who could use his legs as well.
Brian, you mentioned your offensive line, and I saw a little bit on the huddle. I do a little research. I watched some games, and I saw the Loyola game for the most part. That was a televised game. And you mentioned your offensive line, and I was very impressed the way they move and the way they pull and stuff. Just give those guys some kudos and just mention their names.
Yeah, sure. So you got Pat Gallagher, and then you have Carter McAlilly, Jackson Judah at center, and then you have Jack O'Connell at a guard, and then Zach Bowden at the other left tackle. So, going across the board there, those guys, get coached very well. We've got one of the best in the business. Mike Berry has been on our staff the last couple of years, and it's pretty cool because he used to coach with my dad back at Fenwick back in the day. So to have Mike come back and help me out and be a part of the program and be back here in the Catholic League is special. And he's got one of my former players helping him out as well, Patrick Hosty. So yeah, it's a special group, and they're doing a great job.
I tell you what, if that offensive line doesn't have a nickname, I mean, they've got to be the Southside Irish Parade.
Yeah, right.
You hear those last names, and it sounds like a Brother Rice lineup every year.
Sure does. That's pretty fitting, isn't it?
No doubt.
The Celtic force there for sure.
Defensively, I mean, I've heard rumblings, some various injury issues. Where do you set defensively going into this one?
Yeah, we got to tackle better. We've had definitely some injuries. We haven't been all together, and we are getting healthy here, which is a good thing. And, just trying to find our identity. We are young in some of the areas, where we were banged up, and but the guys they're getting better. They're working hard. Obviously this is a very challenging week. You have a very good, high potent offense, that can definitely, when you think of Joliet Catholic over all those years, pound the rock, and they can definitely do that. But also you've got a very good quarterback and, run a lot of play action, and they've got some threats to go down the field too. So, again, it's going to be a challenge for sure, but you got to do the best you can to contain the run and not give up big plays and rally to the football, and obviously contain their quarterback and keep the ball in front of you, and obviously create some turnovers, and then you got to win the field position game, against a great football team as Joliet Catholic is.
Brian, I see Tim Lyons is still on the coaching staff, correct?
Yeah, Timmy's he's the head freshman coach. Yes.
Okay, he and I, I've known Tim a long time when he was the baseball coach at Rice, and I was the head baseball coach at Providence. Is Owen his son?
Yes, that is. So I've been very lucky this year. So Timmy and I went to Rice together. We graduated in '92. We played ball there at Brother Rice, and he's got three sons that are on the varsity. He's got twins, and then and Owen's one of them, and his son Liam, who's a senior, and then he's got Connor, who's Owen's twin. So
it's got to be Liam then, because there was one. I was telling Edgy this story. We drove all the way out on the bus to Brother Rice. We get there and it absolutely pours. So Tim and I are on the baseball field, and I think his wife, it has to be his oldest son. I held him on the pitching mound for about 10 minutes, and Tim and I talked. So wow. Tim and I is a good friend, and tell him that Joe Radiguero, please said hello. And he's just a good friend, and I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'll tell him you said hello, and yeah, he's doing great. Shoot, he's been coaching at Rice now. I believe because he went to De La Salle right out of Elmhurst for a couple of years, and then he's been at Rice. I think this is 23rd year.
Wow. So, yep. Good guy.
Brian, we talk about that game tomorrow night against Joliet Catholic. Again, by the way, fans, it is a 6 p.m. kickoff, so just be ready for that. It's a little bit earlier of a kickoff, which, by the way, Brian, I love that 6 o'clock kickoff.
I do too.
Now, depending upon how the baseball goes tomorrow, I'll either be in a really good mood or a really edgy mood like I am tonight. There's no middle ground.
But it's hard to work with him tonight.
What are a few of your bullet points going into tomorrow night? What do you guys need to get done to beat Joliet Catholic?
We got to protect the football. And then I also think it's going to be really important defensively, like I mentioned earlier. We got to contain the run. Win first down. I think is a big thing when you play type of offense like they are. Get them in third and long situations. Don't give up big plays. And play action. We got to tell our DBs, obviously to keep their eyes out of the backfield and create turnovers. I think every possession is going to be very important. Because you have two high-power offenses. You know what I mean? And obviously their defense. I think this will be the best offense that they'll see all season. And, we're looking forward to competing there. And, I know this is an unconventional offense for us to defend, but I think our guys are ready, and, we're looking forward to the opportunity to, see what we can do against, Joliet Catholic. And, they're and in my opinion, this is what I circled this one on the calendar as well, like you, Edgy, and I looked at it and I thought this is one of the top three teams that we were going to play all season.
Yep.
And they were definitely one up there, and maybe even the top team.
Brian, again, always appreciate you picking up the call and always appreciate your help. And again, I know I'll see you tomorrow night, but if I don't get to it and you get a little busy, just, man, thank you for everything over the years. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys. I've been listening to your show over the years, and I want to thank you for everything that you do for high school football. And, our guys are very fortunate to, and the coaches to be able to be a part of this. And, I've been very blessed. I'm looking forward to, finishing strong here and looking forward to tomorrow night. So I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Brian.
All right. Good luck, Brian.
Brian Batkey joins us from Brother Rice. And again, another guy that isn't teaching. He's in a separate private business, and he's put his time in and he's moving on. So I give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap it up. Hour number 1 in the books. We will be back here right after ABC News. John Ivelo, Steve Susi join us, and your calls don't go anywhere. This is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere.
High school football this Friday night. Undefeated Lockport playing at Bolingbrook. Conference implications on the line. The winner in the driver's seat to win the championship. High school football Friday night brought to you by Tire Tracks USA. The Porters play at Bolingbrook at 6 p.m.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell and Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell and Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's Chicagoland area attorneys. 4320 Winfield Road, Suite 200, Warrenville, Illinois, 60555.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Technology's advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Whew. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Are you struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Michelle Kerfin handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else and more money too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen and get to a better state with State Farm. Find Michelle online at insurewithmichelle.com.
Will County's News Talk Sports, 1340.
Biden is rolling back more Trump mandates.
The president restoring Utah's Bears, Ears, and Grand Staircase Escalante National Monuments to their original, larger boundaries before President Trump dramatically downsized them. The Biden order, a win for Native American tribes who wanted to protect their spiritual and historic sites. The U.S. will also restore marine protections off the coast of Rhode Island.
ABC's Andy Field. Nearly a week later, there's no confirmation just how big an oil spill from a ruptured pipeline in Southern California really is.
We are doing everything we can to clean up this oil spill. And on the back end of this spill, there will be a determination of who's responsible for payment.
Coast Guard Captain Rebecca Orr estimates that more than 3,100 barrels of oil could now be on the water and on the beaches. The Senate is voting on a deal to extend the debt ceiling into September. It was brokered by Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, but not all Republicans are on board.
We cannot go on like this. It is irresponsible at the deepest levels.
Wyoming Senator Cynthia Loomis says the extension should be taken care of by Democrats alone. Presidential push for COVID vaccine mandates in the public and private sector.
In Chicago, the president making the case vaccine mandates are working.
My message is require your employees to get vaccinated. With vaccinations, we're going to beat this pandemic finally. Without them, we face endless months of chaos in our hospitals, damage to our economy, and anxiety in our schools.
But the CDC is warning of the potential for severe flu this season. Americans have little immunity after very few cases last year.
ABC's Ariel Reshef. Florida's Board of Education authorized the commissioner to sanction members of 8 school boards in districts which continue to require masks for students. You're listening to ABC News.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
Aw, you people at Lively are wonderful.
With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping. 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio. The airlines are expecting a holiday season travel boom.
Coming out of a slowdown in travel, now with COVID numbers dropping in many areas of the U.S., United Airlines says it expects a travel surge and plans to fly 3,500 flights every day in December, the largest schedule for United since the start of the pandemic. That equates to about 91% of its 2019 schedule. United says searches for flights on its app and website are up 16% compared to 2019. Florida and ski resort areas are expected to be the hottest destinations. Alex Stone, ABC News.
A Tanzanian writer is the first African in nearly 2 decades to win the Nobel Prize in Literature.
All eyes on Stockholm for the very difficult to predict winner. Mats Malm from the Swedish Academy with this year's name.
Abdul Razak Gurna, born in Zanzibar, active in England, for his uncompromising and compassionate penetration of the effects of colonialism and the fates of the refugee in the gulf between cultures and continents.
Gurna is a professor at the University of Kent. He's the author of 10 novels. His award comes with a gold medal and over $1 million. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
English Premier League club Newcastle has been sold to Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund after a long takeover and legal fight involving concerns about piracy and rights abuses in the kingdom. This is ABC News.
COVID is spiking again, and it's just not clear how to keep your family safe. Fever is the leading symptom of COVID, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen temporal scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the 2-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
Fall is a great time to update your home with a fresh coat of paint from Menards. We've purchased truckloads of paint to pass the savings on to you. Get a gallon of Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Interior Flat Paint and Primer in one for only $19.99 after $10 rebate and 11% off. Good through Saturday, October 9th. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It's hour number 2 of your favorite IHSA football show. Okay, there's really not a whole lot to choose from, but gosh darn it, on Thursday nights between 6 and 8, we know we're your guys. Welcome to the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM here along with the coach, Joe Rodagero. Evan Bredesen, the sheriff, spinning the dials. And Joe?
Yes, sir.
Our game of the week is as follows. Friday Night Lights, a special, very special 5:15 kickoff leading up to our game of the week. Joe, you will be out at Bolingbrook with the mayor of the morning. Yeah, boy, you got the boss working with you.
I know. I must be in trouble.
Scott Slocum, Joe Rodagero bring you Bolingbrook hosting Lockport. That is a 6 p.m. kickoff. So you can catch that game right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com, as well as the Odyssey app, which I certainly have used quite a bit this season. You can listen to them off your smartphone. And again, Joe, this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents John Wright and Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
All right, we are back. It's hour number 2. First hour, I want to thank a very busy first hour. Bill Leck from Joliet West, Matt Harding from Manuka, and Brian Batkey from Brother Rice. And let's open the phone lines, 815-254-7300. Joe, I think some Hilltopper fans want to talk about Brother Rice on Friday. I think some of our Lockport fans want to talk about the Porters on the road at Bolingbrook. And, well, anything else you want to talk about, we are here for you. 815-254-7300. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Let's continue to break down the area schedule while we wait for your calls. We mentioned Manuka at Plainfield North, Joe. Terrific game. Big game, really, for both.
Yes, most definitely. I think Manuka coming off that huge win at Oswego East last week, and Plainfield North, the double overtime loss. Maybe a little more incentive on Plainfield North side.
Lincoln Way East at 4-2. I want to say hi to Rob Zavonar, who probably will never join our show ever again after we had him on the week before.
Yes.
They are hosting HF, another big game for the Griffins, Joe. Can East turn the corner?
Yes, they will win this game. HF seems to be struggling offensively. Lincoln Way East will definitely get the win here.
Joe, it took a while, but is officially now a Pigskin Preview.
Gotcha.
Bob on the phone. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys?
Here's what I want to know, and this is how sad it is, Bob. I was thinking about this early this morning. So, Bob, you're always on my mind. How do you tailgate tomorrow night, and where do you park?
Oh, well, we're going to park. No tailgating tomorrow night.
You're probably going to have to either park by Mother Macaulay or by St. Xavier.
Yeah, and parking is an adventure.
Oh, I know it
Brother
is, yeah.
Rice.
Yep.
So it's sitting over there, too, ain't it?
Yes.
Oh, sitting area.
Visitor side.
But they still have the edges around the track?
Yes, they do.
So I will be there, Bob. I can give you my special secret place to park, but I'm sorry. Joe doesn't have that.
I don't even have that.
My wife doesn't even know about that one. So.
Oh, where's that?
But no, I can't share that with you. If we had more than 3 people listening, but those 3 people could take my trade secret. And
yep.
Oh,
I'd be out of luck. Your thoughts? Is this your biggest game of the year, Bob?
I think so.
What concerns you?
Turnovers.
Yep.
Just trying to something to make something happen. Keep it under control. I think we can play with them.
Do you expect a high-scoring game?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
All right, you heard it from Bob.
I really don't.
If it doesn't happen, just walk over to the Joliet Catholic section and just say, "Where's Bob? I want to laugh at him."
I think there's going to be a lot of points.
I do too, Bob.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, if Bob's I won't even say it. That'll be for our sponsored show down the line when we have certain sponsors that'll sponsor us.
Yes, right.
I got something to tell you.
Yes, sir.
The Zimmer that plays on our football team?
Ziesmer?
Yeah, Ziesmer.
Okay.
Fourth generation.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think there's nobody else.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good.
Look at you, Bob, pulling out the facts.
Well, I just want to let you guys know.
Yeah, you're right.
Do we just give him a producer credit on the show? We might as well.
Just roll it.
I mean,
you're on the credits. You're on the credits, Bob, tonight.
All right, Bob, you'll be in the final credits. So look for those rolling at the end of the show.
All right.
All right, Bob, be safe. I'll see you. Hey, Bob, I'll see you down there tomorrow night.
Okay, I'll hold you to it.
No, I'll be there.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Take care, Bob.
815-254-7300. And where one Bob goes, the other Bob follows. Hello, other Bob.
Hello, fellas.
Hello, Bob.
Other Bob, I think I'm being extremely professional this evening, even though I am wallowing in sorrow right now.
Aren't we all?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Well, it didn't look like they were even there in the game.
It looked like the Houston series the first time we played at Houston.
Yes.
The batters just seemed off balance. They couldn't get anything going. It was almost like they were in a daze today, it seemed.
Well, let's hope they snap out of it tomorrow because I'll really be edgy tomorrow night if we don't get it done.
Well, we can only hope. We can only hope.
That's right.
So, other Bob, I know you already have plans for tomorrow night. Tailgating is an adventure at Brother Rice. Parking's an adventure at Brother Rice. So I think you made a great choice, sir. I'm not going to reveal your plans. Otherwise, we could give out your secret identity, and that'll never happen.
No, that never happened.
But you have planned in advance.
I can't really talk about it.
I love you guys.
Yep.
I really do.
Yep. What are your concerns, sir? And is this the biggest opponent so far this year for JCA?
You know, it's one that I thought would probably be one of 3 or 4 tough games. And as it turns out now, they've surprised me the whole way along. This might be the toughest game so far. I'm a little bit worried about our defense stopping them. I know the defense has played well all year, but play the good teams, things happen. Could be 1 or 2 little turnovers here or there, or you get stopped once. Next thing you know, you're in trouble. So
yeah, I tend to agree. I think secondary in particular.
Yes.
We want to see how tested that secondary is going to get. I think it's going to be tomorrow night.
One other interesting point was brought to my attention this week that I don't know if a lot of Hilltopper fans have thought of. I surely didn't. Hilltoppers, it appears, are going to be in 4A this year. If they were fortunate enough to make it to the state championship, people realize that was a Friday night game?
Yeah. Hey, how about that?
Yes.
No one does. Everyone in the studio is like shrugging their shoulders like, yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, welcome to Class 4A.
Yes.
The great thing is your prime time. It beats the heck out of 10 a.m.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. I haven't seen anywhere where it's been confirmed where it's going to be.
DeKalb.
Yeah, DeKalb. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in DeKalb. They basically just carried the contract over a year. So we're gonna go DeKalb, and then we're gonna go U of I, and then the contract will be open.
Okay. I wasn't sure how COVID had affected that or what was going to happen.
Yep, that's exactly how they handled it. So yes, we will be in DeKalb in late November.
Okay, now I do remember in the past too, and I have not seen anything on this, they had rotated like 1A, 2A, 3A.
They did that for 1 year, I believe, and that was it. 2 years.
2 years.
And that was it. Bob, other Bob, I've made mention of it to several people at the IHSA, including one of your very own who work for the IHSA. I've never really gotten a solid answer back on why that went away. I thought it was an interesting idea for sure. What we're talking about is for 2 years, the IHSA rotated the start times. So it was 2-4 or 2-1 1.
Yeah, it
4,
essentially
3.
worked where two classes flipped with one another. So
Right,
it would
so
normally
2A
go
played.
1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. But instead, what they did was 2 played the early game, 1 played the second game,
Right.
and 4 played the third game, and 3 played the night game. And then the same for 5, 6, 7, and 8. 6 would play the first game, then 5A, then 8A, then 7A.
I had a fan, I can't remember who mentioned it to me. Another Bob, if it was you, I apologize. What would be interesting, and the point they were making is you get your larger schools in 8A and 7A, obviously. Why not go 1 year 1, 3, 5, 7, and then the next year or the next day 2, 4, 6, 8?
Yeah.
What do we appreciate?
Other Bob,
yeah. You guys.
That would be interesting, though, correct? Because you would give 7 and 8A the nighttime slots on the championship games, which I'm assuming you're going to draw more eyeballs. You're going to, and again, look, IHSA TV is not quote unquote ratings grabbers. I mean, they do really well. They're more about attendance. I don't know. Do you draw more or no? And I bet that's probably the argument. See, I don't know if you draw more that you might get 8A fans piggybacking on 7A and vice versa. I don't know. In most cases, no, because one really can't stand the other. Most cases.
I do have one more interesting question. Not
Yes, sir.
to change the subject, but you made
We either talk this or baseball, so you go right ahead.
Have at it.
I'd much rather talk this than baseball today. You made the comment, the coach from Brother Rice made the comment, liking the 6 o'clock start.
Love it.
Obviously, I know it gets you in and out of the stadium quicker, home earlier.
Yep.
But got to be hell on the parents.
It is.
Yes.
And look, I totally understand that problem of it. And my whole thing is, okay, let's settle. Let's kick off at 7 sharp.
Yes.
Not 7:45. I had a 7:30 last week. I won't mention any names, but it's not too hard to figure if you look back at the stories I did last week. That was a 7:30 kick that almost got going at like 10 to 8, 5 to 8. Kick off at 7 sharp and be done with it.
We had a game last week that was supposed to start at 7:30.
Yeah, you were on the air to like midnight, I think.
Due to traffic issues, they literally ended up not kicking off because they ended up playing the sophomore game too. They didn't kick off this game until about 8:20, and it was supposed to be a 7:30 kick.
Yes.
So other Bob, the media loves it for obvious reasons. I love it because, well, I'm old. But the parents do not care for it, and I agree that is a problem. And I think it'll get addressed. And again, I think a big part of this was lower numbers, less 3-level programs. You're getting 2 programs now. But if those numbers come back, other Bob, which I believe they will, I think you'll see things go back.
Even if they don't come back, I'd like to see it at 7 o'clock to give everybody the opportunity to get to the game.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. You're right.
So
Again, I'm right. How wonderful day.
We're in a really good mood despite everything that happened around us today.
Yeah,
we're just
from
taking
3
the high
o'clock
road.
to 6. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow, and Joe, have a good game.
All right, thanks, Bob.
See you, Bob. All right, the other Bob joins us, and we appreciate him joining. Some interesting thought there for sure.
Yes.
Interesting thought. I do I'm a little intrigued by that 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8 deal with TV and being able to split up those classes a little bit.
I like it, but for a selfish reason, just as a high school football fan, it's a more representative viewing day of everything Illinois high school football has to offer. You've got the small schools and the small towns all the way up to the big schools, and it all happens over the course of a day. And then you can come back the next day and do it all over again rather than, hey, small schools, we get the early morning stuff on Friday. We'll work our way through you, and then by Saturday night, we'll get to the big boys. So I like the idea of balancing it out throughout 2 days.
So before we step aside and take a break, I am doing the IHSA pairings. I don't know what it is, pregame show, online show, whatever they're calling it this year. So I'm doing that this year. Seuss is doing it as well. We're like a tag team now, like a pro wrestler tag team. I don't know, wherever I go, he goes, whatever. Yeah. It's how we roll. But what's going to be interesting is this is going to be the last year of Quincy Media, and then the contract's up again for TV. So My thought is, unless Quincy Media doesn't want it, they're going to get it again. But Evan, you know this as well as I do. TV is so jacked up right now and fragmented, and IHSA might end up going back into doing it ourselves business. I could see that happening.
They very well might, especially where television is at right now.
And I can see a world of them streaming only.
Yes.
I definitely can, from a cost standpoint, streaming only. But that's down the road a little bit.
I mean, there are major sports institutions in this country that when their TV contracts are up are already looking at the possibility of streaming only.
Right.
I mean, everyone gave the Cubs grief for Marquee Network, but you are going to see a White Sox network sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Now, I know they just signed up again with NBC Sports Chicago, but I'm guaranteeing you there's going to be a couple of years there, and they're going to be looking to bail out of that contract. And with NBC Sports Chicago, you don't even know how much longer they're going to be around, honestly. From what I'm hearing, it's really not looking good. So we'll see.
Content is king right now, and now if you have the content,
or if you're an online gambling paying for advertising, that keeps a lot of shows on the air right now. That's how they're able to survive. But how long is that going to last? I mean, I think gambling's here to stay, obviously, but the advertising end of it, Evan, how long does that last?
well, I mean, I think the question becomes is when do the teams with the ad dollars stop going to the networks and instead go, why am I going through this intermediary?
Exactly.
And when it comes to sports, I'm just going to go right to the team because
you better produce numbers. If not,
when Major League Baseball has decided that they no longer really care about being affiliated with gambling, that to me was kind of the Rubicon moment where it was, oh, all right, it's open season, it's the Wild West, we are entering a new era now. Gambling money is okay. It's going to completely alter the landscape.
Yes. All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. On the other side of the commercial break, John Ivelo from your Bolingbrook Raiders will join us. We'll talk about the WJOL Game of the Week as the Raiders host Lockport. This is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's news, talk, sports, and chub.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
Ah, you people at Lively are wonderful.
With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping, 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
Looking for the best sports and gambling information? Check out State Lines. Hosted weekly by Jason Gotch and Kevin Berger, State Lines takes a look at football betting, including the best angles on the NFL, sides and totals, futures, prop bets, and more. Jason and Kevin also go in-depth on the Chicago Bears, giving you the latest news and betting insight for the monsters of the Midway, as well as the rest of the league. And on each episode, the guys will give you their 3 best NFL bets for the coming week's slate of games. There will be betting talk for other sports, too. What's hot in the sports world? We've got you covered. Jason and Kevin give you a fun and informed look at sports and gambling. Want the winners? Check out State Lines. Available wherever you get your podcasts. That's State Lines, Illinois' #1 pro football gambling program. Available now on your favorite podcast platform and on the web at statelines.show.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge. You people at Lively are wonderful. With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping, 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Malloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Rodriguero as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Malloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Our guy, the one and only John Ivo, is joining us over the phone. And John, appreciate you joining us once again, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
Well, every time we talk to you, it's a big game.
That's right.
Another big battle out at Bolingbrook, and again, 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. It is the WJOL game of the week as Bolingbrook hosts Lockport. John, you saw this last year. You saw this Porter team coming on, and they have not slowed down since kickoff starting this season. I mean, you've got to be excited to get them at your place, and obviously just a huge game from the conference perspective as well.
Yeah, well, we had them at our place last year, and they beat the pants off of us. So, so it's just one of those things. And they're a tremendous team. I think I counted after we played them, looking ahead to next year already. They had 10 starters back on defense that played against us. So, but no, I just looked, and I think we're 2-1 on the road, 2-1 at home, and 3-0 on the road. Maybe we should go to them this year. I don't know.
John, talk about the progression of Bobby Irvin. I know he was I'm going to say a spot starter that first week when we guys had you, but it is continuation at quarterback.
Well, we just got to keep him healthy.
There you go.
That's the biggest thing. But no, Bobby's just he's a special kid. He's done just about everything for us, and for him to come and take the reins as the quarterback, 4 days before the first game of the season, and then progress. We're limited. If you've watched us play, we're limited to what we do throwing wise, but what we do with him, he does very well. So, but he does make up for it with his legs, what he lacks in his arm.
We need to talk more about your offensive line.
Yeah,
because John, that's been a story this year that, again, I'm literally knocking on fake wood here. That you've dealt on and off over the last handful of years with depth and keeping kids, and that group has been just incredibly productive for you this year.
Yes, 3 back from last year, our interior, and going into the season, we knew our center guards would be the strength of the offensive line. Got a kid out. He didn't play last year. He's a heavyweight wrestler. Got him to come out and play football this year. Frank Villavera, he's playing our right tackle. And our left tackle, we stole from defense. He was actually a defensive lineman last year. This is his first year at offensive lineman with Nick Wilson. So, they've come a long way, but they're all big, strong, physical kids, and that's what you got to be to play offensive line.
John, again, I know you've talked about Mr. Stewart and Barry Johnson, and they seem like they complement each other when they're on the football field.
Yeah, seems one has a good game, and the other one maybe gets shut down, and it flips the next week. But both valuable, like Cayenne. He's he is our punter, and he does an extremely good job of punting for us. So, whereas maybe he's not catching, the 10 balls a game like he did last year, he's showing his skills off in other areas. He's a kickoff returner. He's our punter. He catches runs some of the sweeps and the screens. And like I said, his time will be coming. So,
Hey, John, I want to throw this at you. We talked about this earlier in the show, and I was having a talk with God, I can't remember who it was, but we're talking about kind of the anyone could beat anyone any week this year, and it seems more so this year than we've seen in a while. One of the things he threw out there, and I know that you're heavily involved, and you have a really good weightlifting program, in the off season, and making sure your kids are consistently in the weight room. Are we seeing an impact this fall because of that lack of real hardcore weight room time?
Definitely. I think I mentioned it the other day. I'm watching a lot of these games. They're not the physical games that I've seen in years past, including our team. We still play physical ball, but the overall physicality of the game is just not there. I think games are kind of sloppy right now, to be honest with you. And I still think people are still in that shutdown mode. And as can be seen by the violence in the schools around, people are still just not used to getting back to work. And that's a whole other story. Man, we could talk for hours about that one.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the morning crew and everyone else around here. We're more than happy to stick to the football. But it's something that I think more and more coaches are kind of. And then, John, I think we all kind of wondered what the fallout was going to be from spring football, and I definitely think that's part of it.
Yes.
And I think the other part of this is, a lot of people, casual fans might not realize you've already played 12 games this year.
Yeah, definitely. There's coaches, players suffering from burnout. We only practice 2 hours a week, 1 day a week. The other times we go hour and a half and then 45 minutes. But we're talking about cutting, that other 2 hour down to an hour and a half now. It's just, there's nothing else to put in. It's repetitive, and kids are getting bored. Coaches are getting tired. It's getting darker earlier. They're getting deeper into their classes. Kids need more study time. They need more family time. And so that's usually what we do, a true story. But one of our main practices before our state title game back in 2011 was 45 minutes long. Like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and we were playing them on Saturday. So it just gets to the point where you're beating a dead horse. Get done what you got to get done. Go home. Rest up.
Yeah, no, a lot of truth in that for sure. As far as Lockport is concerned tomorrow night, I'm sure on your bulletin board, run the football and consistently do. It's got to be number one for you going into that game.
Of course, yeah. No, if we can't run the ball, we got problems.
What defensively? I know we've talked about. You mentioned 10 starters back from the spring. Is it a what is the strength of that defense? I actually think it's the Twins, the DNs.
The defensive line, all of them, they're all big physical kids. The good news is they've only had about 3 months to get bigger and stronger instead of a whole year. So, so basically, we're going to be seeing the same kids that we saw last year. And once again, we got 3 of our kids back, and we added a couple nice, big, strong tackles that they're a little bit more meatier and stronger than the 2 weak guys we had out there last year, which were also converted defensive players.
And again, I think what's interesting about them offensively is, George wants to run the football and get that running game established. But the Timmelstedt kid has proven that, they can beat you putting it in the air as well.
Sure. Well, no, they got some nice receivers. Kid throws a nice ball at the quarterback, and we'll have our hands full for sure. But I think our DBs are up to the challenge. We got a nice set of guys back there. They're all big. They're tall, and just like Lockport's receivers, there'll be some good matchups there tomorrow night.
John, is that the biggest quarterback you've ever coached against? Tallest, I should say?
I don't think so. Homewood Flossmoor had a kid years back. At least 6'6", 6'7".
Okay.
I don't recall his name, but
oh yeah, God, I do remember him. He's a pretty decent quarterback too. He's a good basketball player as well.
He was, yep.
Oh man, see, John, I'm gonna wake up at like 2:30 in the morning and yell out the name. I'll text you. I won't call, but I'll text you.
He would have been under Coach Smith, and before, after Bailey, and before Buzz. So.
Yeah, I will text you that name. So,
yeah,
so maybe 2:30 in the morning, you'll get a text from me.
That's fine. I'll be up.
John, as always, appreciate you taking time. Wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. Again, you can hear that game right here on WJOL AM 1340 as well as WJOL.com, as well as the Odyssey app on your smartphone. Bolingbrook hosting Lockport, 6 p.m. kickoff. John, thanks again.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, John. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. One game, 6 p.m., varsity only.
There you go.
I love it.
Thanks,
All right, John Ivel joining us from Bolingbrook. And again, one game only, Joe.
Yes.
At 6 o'clock.
I told you I'm leaving the house.
I still love.
So do I.
Kickoff.
I mean,
sorry.
I understand.
Sorry, parents.
You know, and again, and Bob brought up a good point as far as parents are concerned, and even a 6:30 start would be good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I'm willing to bend, Joe.
I know you
I'm
are.
flexible. It doesn't look like it, but I can be. So, let's finish the schedule, shall we?
All right.
Lincoln, again, we talked about this. The biggest 2-4 game in the area, Joe.
Yes.
Lincoln Way Central at Lincoln Way West. Thoughts?
I agree with you that the loser of this game probably does not make the playoffs. Second of all, seeing Lincoln, again, I haven't seen Lincoln Way Central this year at all. Seeing Lincoln Way West, if they play like they did last Friday night, I'm looking for them to get a victory here. I really am. They're a good team. They are a good team. They had, the 2 turnovers early that probably kind of cost them. They were right there with Lockport the whole game, and as we said before, I said before that it was the toughest game Lockport had up to that point, but Lincoln Way West is a very good football team.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, should be an interesting ball game out at Lincoln Way West tomorrow night. Joe, one of the top games in the area, a game that will be my game of the week tomorrow night. Brother Rice hosting Joliet Catholic Academy. Joe, would love your thoughts and pick on this one.
We forgot to ask Brian about this. I think it's their homecoming, so I don't know if he was worried about that too. But again, I said this to you during the week. The last team that has the ball is going to win this game. I know JCA Bob said he doesn't think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be very high scoring.
I'm with you.
And I think the team with the ball last. Joliet Catholic's secondary is going to be tested. They got Brother Rice has a very good offensive line. They can run the ball too. It's going to put their defense the biggest test of the year so far.
Yeah. 2 things that concern me going in, and again, I have not seen JCA in person. Thus, now you know why I'm going.
Yes.
So I would have seen, by the way, JCA watched Wheaton St. Francis on the cable last week. Seen Richard Burton. Going to try to see Sacred Heart soon. So I'm trying to load up for the fans on 4A, everybody. Okay. 2 concerns for me going in. Number 1, we talked about secondary. They will get tested. Even when Rice doesn't throw the ball, Lausch can beat you with his feet. He's a great athlete.
Yep.
Great athlete. We mentioned the linebacker play. Those guys are going to have to be on their game tomorrow night. Strength of schedule, I think, might play a factor. I don't think JCA's played anyone close. Maybe the Cardinal Ritter team. Was that the week 2, the St. Louis game, Cardinal Ritter?
Yeah.
I just don't know how tested they've been with the schedule this year.
And we talked about the parity of the teams this year all the way through. I looked this up because I know we talk about it a lot. You and I, Brother Rice, the teams they play the records combined 14 and 18. So I mean, it's just a lot of parity.
Yep. So we'll see how that plays out. But I am definitely looking forward to covering that game tomorrow night. Out of lovely 99th and Pulaski. Over by there. Ottawa at Morris. The Redskins are rolling, Joe.
I'm picking the Redskins there.
Evan, is there a better name in high school football right now than Ashton Yard as your running back? Please give me one better.
Right now, I can't. That might be the best name. I'm just thinking of all the play-by-play calls I could make.
Yard with a yard.
Yeah, I know, like a big 3rd and 1. Can Yard get a yard here?
Saturday, the Celtic loads up the Green Rockets and head up to Loyola to take on the Ramblers, Joe. It's a must-win in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Providence's schedule, they have, of course, Loyola this week, Rita next week, and then they finish up with St. Lawrence. I'm not, again, must-win, I don't know yet. We'll talk more soon about 4 and 5, but it's just hard to beat Loyola up there. I mean, I think Providence has only beaten them once. in the last 20 years up there. So this is
they're a different beast on Saturday.
Yeah,
they are.
It's just a totally different game.
Joe, Reed Custer, our new friends. Tough loss, tough 21-14 loss to Wilmington, but here's hoping Reed Custer's able to finish strong. They're on the road at Streeter.
I'm picking Reed Custer here.
Joe, have you ever been to Streeter?
Yes, I have. Long time.
You might be the only person in the world I know that's ever been to Streeter.
I think I was in grade school. I saw a Lockport basketball game.
You don't even know. You could have been in Morris.
No, it was Streeter. I remember.
5 years old.
I was a little older than that, but I did go to a game.
Was this when you were Cowboy Ray in WCCQ?
Yeah, that was
Cowboy Ray days.
When I was 8 or 9 years old, yes.
All right, so I was wondering. Of course, University of St. Francis got a win last week. They're 1-2. They are at Trinity International in Deerfield. I don't know how international they are, but Trinity International in Deerfield. They are 2-3 on the year. Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff. So go Fighting Saints.
Yes.
And that's going to do it for this segment. Don't go away. The czar of the brackets.
The guru. Yep.
The guru.
The wizard.
And the wizard and whatever other nonsense you want to come up with. We'll throw it on him. Steve Susie cometh. We will return the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports. We'll be right back.
For over 30 years, LK Tack Shop has been your first choice for everything horse-related. And even if you don't ride or own a horse, LK Tack Shop can outfit you from head to toe in the latest Western fashions. You need to check out LK Tack Shop's collection of brand-name apparel for both men and women, from Ariat, Sidge, Cowgirl Tough, Panhandle Slim, and Rock and Roll Denim, along with boots from Ariat, Dan Post, and Laredo, plus cowboy hats from Resistol and Stetson.
In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness, save 20% off everything pink, 75% off all clearance, and receive a free gift with purchase for the ladies while supplies last.
Shop LK Tack Shop and you'll find Western and English apparel and saddles, horse clothing, show accessories, and stable supplies, including Purina horse feed and Victor dog food. Everything you need for horses and horse lovers is at LK Tack Shop. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 5 at 26359 South LaGrange Road. That's Route 45 in Monee, just 1 mile south of Monee, Manhattan Road.
And like us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
LK Tack Shop and LKTackShop.com for horse owners and horse lovers.
If you've got a small business, you know there's nothing more valuable than your time. So why waste it at the post office? Stamps.com makes it easy to mail and ship right from your computer. No special equipment required. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. You'll even get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. And their new Rate Advisor tool lets you compare shipping rates across carriers so you always find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and when you go to Stamps.com and use offer code FOCUS, you'll receive a 4-week free trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code FOCUS. That's Stamps.com, promo code FOCUS. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
Keeping your tax information safe keeps your business safe. That's why Greg Severson at Cordano, Severson and Associates goes above and beyond to keep your business tax information private. This includes keeping everything he does local to our community. There's no outsourcing services overseas like the big firms do, or storing sensitive documents in places where online hackers have easy access. And Greg Severson has taken multiple measures behind the scenes to protect his clients from tax identity fraud. Give yourself peace of mind for your business. Call Greg Severson at Cordano, Severson and Associates. Beyond keeping your business safe from tax hackers, Greg will set you up for the ever-changing business tax landscape to give you the best tax advantages. Call Cordano, Severson and Associates, a firm you can trust and your business can afford. Co-founder and proud member of the Will Buy Local Alliance. Do you have tax prep experience but are tired of making the commute downtown? Cordano Severson is hiring qualified tax professionals. Inquire today by calling 815-744-1900. That's 815-744-1900.
Got a problem with your car? Here's a chance to talk to the experts. Listen in this Thursday at 9:35 to Car Talk with the experts from the service department at Darcy Buick GMC. Call in with your questions about any vehicle and get honest, experienced answers about your car. Plus, get helpful tips for keeping your car in great shape for every season. Listen to Car Talk this Thursday at 9:35 a.m. Brought to you by Darcy Buick GMC on Essington Road in Joliet and at darcymotors.com. Right here at 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. When it comes to real estate, we have a buyer tsunami and overload of buyers. Know more about your largest investment, your home. Find out why. Tuesdays at noon with Get Real with Eddie or GetRealWithEddie.com. Eddie Rudiger of the Rudiger Group and Baird & Warner will help you learn that buyer demand is here to stay. Current home remodeling ideas, interest rates, and the hottest colors to paint. Keep yourself and your home up to date. It is your biggest investment. Real estate information on your home, Tuesdays at noon with Get Real with Eddie or GetRealWithEddie.com.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodriguero and Evan Bredesen, the sheriff, spinning the dials. And Joe?
Yes, sir.
We're going to bring in the one, the only Steve Susi to the show where all we talk about is high school football and only high school football. Welcome, Sus.
Welcome, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Doing good.
We're doing great, and we love talking about high school football only on this show.
Yes.
I told you I was worried. You wouldn't listen to me.
I wasn't that I wasn't listening to you. I was just trying to ignore you. No offense.
Well, you figured out the wife's key, how we've been married as long as we've been. It was like watching a rerun from what, June? Pretty much?
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of things that were obviously very discouraging about it. I know Lance McCullers is a very good pitcher, but we made him look like Sandy Koufax today. So that was discouraging. I thought that it felt like a lot of lifeless at bats. Waited too long to obviously even mount any sort of a threat. Yeah. Of course, it's always great to hear when, right before you start a playoff series that your former MVP is not feeling well. So, he didn't look very well either. So,
buck up, Buttercup. It's playoff time.
Yeah.
Here's your vitamin C shot, and go play.
Well, what did I tell you was going to happen after we lost game one? I was going to go into a spiral, and I'm already spiraling, and the game tomorrow either can't come soon enough or I need it to be delayed by like a week and a half. I can't decide which.
Yeah. There's going to be some interesting game coverage tomorrow night. So there are going to be some really happy or there's some very not very friendly media types tomorrow night around the state, but certainly in the Chicago area. Anyway, let's move on. I know that we're getting ever closer to playoff time and projection time and your busy time of the year. Give us a slight overview. Where are we at? I know one of the hotter subjects we talked about and seems to continue to be holding out so far, looking like more and more 4 and 5s could get in.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations. It's kind of fluctuated, how many. But the one thing that's been consistent from the beginning of this process is I saw it happening. I mean, it's going to happen. I don't know who the identities are, but I'm real confident that it's going to happen. It's come down to a simple math equation right now, to be completely honest with you. I mean, there's not enough wins being populated into the system anymore to give us a realistic path to having the number of 5-win teams or 5 wins and above that we need to fill out a field of 256 teams. It just, the math doesn't work. I mean, there's like, of the scenarios that could play out, of the 150 or 200 scenarios that could possibly play out, maybe 10% of those include us finding our way to get, that many 5-win and above teams into the field. It just doesn't work.
We often talk about points and stuff, and we've got a couple games, or at least one big game tomorrow night. Lincoln Way Central and Lincoln Way West at both 2 and 4. Is the you would have to say the loser of that game is going to be out of the playoffs, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say that about West. You have to look at Lincoln Way West's non-conference schedule, and if they're able to, if they did lose that game and went to 2-5 and won their last two games, they're actually in one of the better positions to be one of those 4-win teams.
Okay.
But you have to also look at the fact that there's another game on their schedule working beyond that looks like a potential problem.
Yes.
So
yes.
that would be extremely costly if they were to lose that game. Because like right now, for projections purposes, I have Lincoln Way West getting in as a 4-5 team.
Okay.
But that's with winning tomorrow night's game. So things would change obviously if they lost that game.
And we had just a little while ago mentioned Providence. Kind of what's their scenario right now?
Well, I mean, Providence, the beast schedule, it gives and it takes away. I mean, the thing there is, I mean, if they get the 4 wins, they're a lock. They're getting in. I mean, they'd be one of the first teams to get in with 4 wins and points. But can they get the 4 wins with what they have left on their schedule? Right. And I don't know if anybody knows the answer clearly to that right now.
Right.
Because week to week, I'm not sure what I'm going to get from Providence. I'm not sure they know what they're going to get from Providence right now.
What has been and I'm sure there's been many because I've experienced it every week. What has been the toughest conference for you, not named the Chicago Public League, to kind of project out so far?
Well, I mean, you hit on the ones that are always the most difficult. Yes. But yeah, I mean, right now there's a lot of them out there, and I think the thing, and I mean, I don't have the exact numbers on this, but it's just a feeling that I have. If you look right now, there's an overwhelming amount of teams that have 2 and 3 losses right now. And with 3 weeks to go, that means those 3 loss teams got to finish 2-1 to get to the 5-win mark. Maybe they're fortunate enough to get in at the 5 loss parameter, but there's just a bunch of conferences right now where maybe it's clear who's at the top, but as far as like 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, it's chaos. I mean, the mid-suburban is one that, I mean, I point to on a weekly basis. It seems like there's a game, there's a rogue result. There's a rogue result. There's just a result that you just didn't see coming based on what you knew before then. And then that throws everything into upheaval. But there's a bunch of conferences like that. Usually I can run that list to maybe 3 or 4 conferences that I'm really struggling with. It's like 9 or 10 this year. It's just, I don't want to use the word parity because that's not what it is.
Well, what is it then? That's something we've been trying to dissect here for a while. What is it if it's not parity?
You know, I don't know.
Is it just not very good football?
You know, I think what we're used to is more clarity. I think what we're used to is having, you know,
there's more separation by this time.
25 or 30 teams that you're like, okay, those are the cream of the crop.
Yep.
All right. I think that list is bigger now. I think it's like from a grand scheme of type of things. Maybe those teams at the top this year are not as good as some of the teams that maybe we've had at the past, but there's more teams in the conversation. It's like when you're putting together your poll edge, for example, you have to consider more teams maybe than you have in the past for one of your 30 spots. It's just, that's what I think we're dealing with right now.
Well,
that list is 60 teams instead of 45 or 50.
Agreed.
And it's just across the board that's causing a sort of a kind of a sweeping effect in those games when you're looking on the schedule and you see a 4-2 and a 3-3 playing tomorrow night. Those teams might be a little bit better than they were before in the grand scheme of things, but as the whole specter, maybe they're not, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And I mean, I give you prime examples like South Elgin.
Yeah.
Who's 6-0 and give Dragon and his guys all the credit in the world. They're good every year, but they're in a, not a very strong conference in the Upstate 8. And are they really that good? Well, this is the year where they've been solidly in my 25 for 3-4 weeks. And again, because of that wide, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, parity, disparity, you got to consider those teams. And that's something that they just would not be in in my 25 or 30 more often than not. And yeah, I agree. There's definitely more everyone needs to look at. And I hope it doesn't mean worse football. I don't know if it does.
Yeah.
I still haven't come down to that conclusion yet, but we'll see. It'll play out.
Yeah, it's interesting to me just to I think of somebody like the South Suburban Conference where it looks like Lamont is head and shoulders above most of the teams in their division. But if you ask me today who I think 2, 3, and 4 are, and ask me tomorrow who 2, 3, and 4 are, might be a totally different list. Just solely based on the fact that 2 through 7 in that division, I mean, a team that I'm regarding as maybe the 6th or 7th team will jump up and bite and beat the team that I think is about 3rd. So, and every week there's just kind of churn, and there's a lot of conferences that have that going on. There's not a clear pecking order. Like when you look at it and say at this point in the season, you can often look at a conference and go, okay, those guys are going to finish 6-0, they're going to 5-1, 4-2, 3-3, and now you can't do that because it doesn't work. You've got games during the regular season that have happened so far where a team that maybe you pegged for 3rd in the conference lost to a team that you have pegged for 6th in the conference, and then you have to figure out what that means. So it's been real complicated.
I know I'm going to spring this on you, but something I'm sure you've probably started to consider a little bit right now. I mean, who would be your player of the year, and is it one of those years where I can't remember more 6-0 teams where I don't know if I can give you one dominant guy on those teams?
Yeah. It's really interesting. I mean, we're down to 40 teams right now across statewide that are undefeated. And if you had to just pick the standout from each one of those teams, just to give you kind of a jumping off point, I mean, there's some good players on that list, but like you said, I don't know if there's a slam dunk guy in my mind that I can go, hey, this is the guy. I mean, unfortunately, some of the guys that we had pegged for this conversation before the season have been hurt.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of figure, and some of them are back now, some of them are not, some of them are coming back soon. So that has changed the conversation and brought some new names into the conversation. I'm uncomfortable going into this conversation because I feel like I'd leave someone out of the discussion that should be considered.
No, it's fine. Totally fine.
But you're right. It's just one of those years where I think maybe someone rises up above over the next, we have 8 weeks left now when you start to think about it. But boy, it's you don't have a guy right now that you're saying it's his to lose.
I'll be honest, Seuss, I could say that pretty much statewide right now.
Yep.
All right, my friend, we're running up against it, but I always appreciate you hopping on. And where are you heading tomorrow? What's your game?
I believe I'm at the same game that you are because we're following each other around recently. I believe you're at Brother Rice tomorrow night. Yep. I'll see you there, my friend.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we'll be very happy together or very miserable as a bunch. So.
Well, it's never miserable when I'm around you, my friend. So we'll manage either way.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Take care,
Susie, joining us, and again, always a pleasure to have him. Want to thank our guests, Bill Leck, Matt Harding, Brian Batkey, John Ivo, Steve Susie. Want to thank Evan Bredesen and the coach Joe Rodegaro. I'm EDGYTIM. This has been the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports. Good night, everybody.